everyone, it's Mrs. Brunk here with Mrs. Brunk's Read-Alouds. Today we're going to be reading the story, Don't Worry, Hugless Douglas. This comes from a series of books called Hugless Douglas. The very first book is about a bear named Douglas who just needs a hug. So like I said, today we're going to be reading Don't Worry, Hugless Douglas by David Melling. Before we begin today, I do want to review I want to learn some new signs today. Our very first sign is going to be for the word dad. Whenever you sign the word dad, you're going to spread your fingers and tap your thumb against the temple of your head. Ready? Dad. Let's try it again. Dad. The next word we're going to sign is the word hat. Whenever we sign the word hat, we're going to keep our fingers closed, put our thumb sticking out, and tap the top of our head. Hat. Let's try it again. Hat. And the last word we're going to learn to sign today is the word bear. Whenever we sign the word bear, we're going to cross our arms and scratch our shoulders 2 times. Ready? Bear. Let's try it one more time. Bear. Dad. Hat. Bear. Great. Now we're ready to begin. Don't Worry, Hugless Douglas by David Melling. Oh, that is one thing I wanted to share with you guys today. Remember yesterday whenever we read Giraffes Don't Dance and our character's name was Gerald? So whenever we saw his name, we signed giraffe. Just like we did in yesterday's story, whenever we see the name Douglas or hear the name Douglas, we're going to sign bear. Go ahead and show me bear. Bear. And again, since I'm holding the book, I can only sign with one hand, but if you can sign with both hands at home, please try. Douglas and his dad were playing. "What have you got behind your back?" asked Douglas. "Nothing," said Dad. "Not that hand, the other one." Dad smiled. "Close your eyes." "Wow," said Douglas. "Thanks, Dad." Douglas had never had a woolly hat before. He couldn't wait to show his friends. Oh, before we go on, I have my woolly hat I'm going to put on so I can feel like Douglas too. "Take care of it," said Dad. But Douglas was already off. "Look at me," Douglas cried. "Snazzy hat, Douglas," bawled the sheeple hat. "I can even do cartwheels in it," he whooped. And he did, again and again, until something didn't feel right. Douglas gasped. His new woolly hat had turned into one long string of spaghetti. "That's not supposed to happen," he said. "Don't worry, Douglas," said the sheep. "We'll fix it." They wound it into a ball and squished it back into shape. "Any better?" they asked. "No," said Douglas. "Cow is a good thinker," said the sheep. "She'll know what to do." Cow thought she had a very good idea. "Pretty," she said. "No," said Douglas. "Don't worry, Douglas," chirped a swoopy bird. "I can use this for my nest." "No, you can't," yelped Douglas. "That's my new woolly hat." "Doesn't look like a woolly hat," said the swoopy bird. "Anyway," she puffed, "it doesn't fit." And she dropped it. Just then it began to rain, and everyone hurried for cover, except Douglas. "What is my dad going to say?" he worried. Rabbit popped up. "Oh, thanks, Douglas. Just what I need to plug the hole in my burrow." "That's my woolly hat!" cried Douglas. "Dad gave it to me." "Sorry," said Rabbit. "I didn't know." "Come here," she said, and she wiped his nose. "What am I going to do?" sniffed Douglas. Rabbit looked thoughtful. "Why don't you just tell him what happened? He's nice. Your dad? He'll understand." Maybe Rabbit was right. Douglas picked up his wet spaghetti hat and trudged back home. "Oh, Douglas," said his mom, "look at you." "Where's your new hat?" asked his dad. Douglas told them everything. "Don't worry, Douglas," said Dad. "I've got something for you. Guess which hand?" Douglas wasn't sure. "Here's my hat," said Dad, laughing. "You'll soon grow into it." And that's the end of our story. So, our story is about poor Douglas, and he's so worried about telling his parents the truth, and he spends his whole day just worrying and worrying. And the best thing he could do was what Rabbit said, just talk to his parents. So today, the activity we're going to do is called the worry tree. Here's how you do it. You can draw, paint, color a tree, and just put your worries on it. So this tree is strong enough to hold all of your worries. And just like Douglas in the story, whenever you tell someone your worries, you might feel less worried. So here's my worry tree. It's filled with all of my worries. Like one thing I'm worried about is school. Right now, I'm not in school and I miss school. So I'm going to put that on my worry tree. But as you can see, my worry tree is very full. Another thing I was worried about was toilet paper. I was worried I didn't have enough toilet paper. Now here's what I did. I went to the store, I bought toilet paper. Now I'm not worried anymore. I can take toilet paper off my worry tree. So your worry tree may be so full sometimes, or it may start to look empty. Like, I was worried about the dishes this morning, so I washed the dishes. I was worried about feeling sick, but I'm not sick. But look, now my tree's starting to look empty. So at home, I'm going to teach you a really fun way to make your own worry tree. Down here, you can see what my sons did. They made their own worry tree with paint, and I love this project because you get to use puffy paint. So if you have the supplies at home, here's what you'll need. You'll need brown paint, shaving cream, glue, and green food coloring. So here's what we do. First, I painted my son's hands brown, and that's going to be the trunk of the tree and the stems. Next, I mixed together shaving cream and glue in a bowl and mixed it up until it kind of looked foamy. After that, I added food coloring to it. I use the gel kind instead of the liquid kind. If you put the liquid kind, then you're not going to get puffy paint. You're just going to get like sticky green goop. So I used the gel green and I mixed it all together. And then I let my sons paint their tree however they wanted. So my one son, who's a little older, he just colored the foam around the branches. And my other son, who's 9 months old, he just stuck his hand in the paint and he smushed it all over the page. The boys had so much fun with this project. So I hope you guys do too. Like I said, this project, you guys can do it anywhere from as soon as you can move your arms and legs to as old as you want to. Now I know my friends out there in 2nd and 3rd grade, they might not want to play with puffy paint. Although I suggest you do, it's so much fun. So maybe you guys just make your own worry tree and you can use crayons, markers, anything you want. You can write your worries on it. You can use Post-it notes. You can just tape a piece of paper onto your tree like I did. I just used tape. But like I said, if you have a worry tree, it really helps let go of some of those worries. It helps to talk to someone. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is, I'm going to go back to our book here, hats. So the last page of this book is all about hats. We see a banana hat, a diaper hat, I don't like peas hat, follow the leader hat, spot the difference hat, best friends hat, pants hat, peekaboo hat, wig hat, weather hat, potty hat, love hat, family hat. So there's so many hats out there you guys can wear. Right now I'm wearing my woolly hat, but maybe it's too hot and I want to wear just a cap like this. But maybe I don't like the way I look in this hat. So I'm actually going to wear my favorite hat. This is a hat called a fedora. And this is my #1 favorite hat to wear. So if you have a favorite hat to wear, if you have a crazy hat, if you have a cool hat, I want you to send me the pictures, post the pictures in the comments below. I would love to see your hats. I also want to see your worry trees. If you guys make a tree like I did with my boys with foamy paint, I want to see it. Or if you draw your picture and add your worries to that, I want to see that too. Thank you guys so much for reading with me today. Thank you so much for signing with me today. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow.